Leave it up to me?
Leave it up to you.
Okay. I'm going to leave it up to my presentation, and I'm just going to follow along with it. Makes me more comfortable. So, I guess today I'm going to talk about give me a minute. So, it does work. Great. So today I want to talk about doing something for yourself, and really, hopefully you all can relate to this. You're all creative people. That's probably why you're here. A lot of times, I'm a commercial artist, so I work with a lot of clients, and clients tend to, they dictate everything. So this is more about, doing something for yourself, because creative outlets set the stage for self-fulfillment. The art that I make, the things that I do, aren't really for anyone else but myself. And if other people like them, great. Clearly I like when, other people are inspired by art or see something that they like, but a lot of what I try to explore is just kind of for myself, for like growth. So a little background about myself, just for some of you who are not familiar. I'll show you a little bit of my commercial work and some things just pieces that I like. Kids stuff. I worked at Fossil about 12 years ago, so I did a lot of stuff for them. Tins, it was fun to watch tins. Pinups, I just love retro art. And line art, 2-color stuff, I just think is like, I get such a kick out of. Editorial, illustration, posters, advertising. Again, children's stuff. I don't know. I like kind of whimsical, simple, modern things as well. I have a lot of different varied interests. And then line art, just tons of little drawings, etc. Logos. More of the same. And then a little bit more detailed. I'm always trying to push myself in a little bit different directions and see kind of what I can get out of myself. Even sketches, I appreciate the beauty of a sketch. So work can be fun. We all have those projects that are like really you can just take a hold of and do something great with. And of course, you should always add value whenever possible. If you see an opportunity, you should really, grab it, take hold of it. These are some pieces that I included because I thought some people would be familiar with them, some are not. This was an opportunity for me, and I took it as that because I knew that locally it would be something that a lot of people would be exposed to. So I spent a lot more time than probably was necessary because I really wanted to make these pieces unique and interesting and engaging. I had the style, everything was kind of aligned, and so these pieces really worked out well for me, and I was very proud of how they came out. Even going back to that sketch, so I was able to not only do pieces that were a little more involved and a little more detailed, but also sketchy and kind of playful, sexy, family-oriented, and again, food. So there's a lot of other projects that are devoid of creative expression that you just have to do. You're going to make banner ads, you're going to do production work, and it's not inspiring, it's not exciting. But that work needs to be done. Obviously, you got to pay the bills. So in those instances, when you're stuck on that kind of stuff, I recommend that you supplement your creative side. I do things that don't pay. I do things because I like to do them. This is stuff that I'm interested in. I know it's a strange slide to say that on, but it's true. I do stuff in the community, And I take that as an opportunity to try something new, to layer artwork, to layer colors on top of each other, and themes. To try and work in different styles and fit the style to what I'm working on. And then advance that style. The Flavors event I've done, it's a pro bono project for me. I don't get paid for it, but they trust me and they say, just make something fun for us. Make something that's interesting and engaging. So that's an opportunity for me to do something. Now, the time I spend, clearly I'm not getting paid for it, but to me, it's worth it because of the end result. I get excited about it. Even stickers. I did some line art for some printmaking that I was doing. I have a plotting cutter and I'll cut some vinyl stickers. That'll be fun. Children's birthday party. Hotel signs on Mesa that have fallen down recently. That motel, the diving girl fell down last year. But just stuff that I see that is visually, I either take a picture of it or I make a mental note. I have a list a mile long of things that, anything. So, and some clients are totally a drag. And I'll give you an example. The ninja, somebody comes to me and they say, I need a simple line art illustration of a ninja. So this is the ninja I want to give them. They're asking for a ninja, right? Sleek ninja, looks like a ninja, ninja pose. They demand this. They want him in the crane pose from the Karate Kid. And I'm like, if you don't see it in your head, then maybe you could give a little to somebody instead of just forcing that square peg in a round hole. But, I got paid for it. So they got what they wanted. But you tell me which is more appropriate. So whatever, that's fine. So really, though, I look for small ways to be creative in my life. And I'm sorry I keep looking over my shoulder, but I haven't memorized things. It's not how I work. So tend a garden, keep a journal, take an art class. They're all worthwhile investments. They are. They'll make you so much happier. Just like producing something just gives me such joy, whether it's successful or not. If it's successful, I'm happier, but... so I'm going to provide a few case studies and just kind of elaborate my point. Letterpress. So I took a letterpress class at the Paper Studio, which I think is Letterpress Central now. I think they're in Chandler, but they were in Tempe. It was $125. I typeset all the little lead type onto a business card and I printed it. And it was pretty lackluster, but the idea of deconstructing something and learning a process that is maybe antiquated but has such a unique presence, such a tactile feel, was really exciting to me. So, of course, I went out and found a little tabletop press on Craigslist. And it's a Kelsey press. It's a 6x10. I mean, it's the teeniest format. It's 6x10, but you can really print like a business card on it. And you got to grab that handle and like jam it into the ground, and it presses the card. So I got all my little cards here. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm printing promotional pieces. I'm using it as an opportunity to advertise for my commercial work. So I was printing these fun projects, but I wasn't getting any kind of that tactile feel that I wanted to. I couldn't press that thing down hard enough because I was using, essentially a kiddie press, a starter press. They give you the little booklet, like, you can order this in the back of a comic book in the 50s. So I found this press, which is a lot more substantial. It's about 500 pounds. And I had a hell of a time moving it from Pine, which is where I bought it from, but I managed it. The rollers are up there. It's an automatic press. You pedal it like a sewing machine. It inks the table right there. That circular thing is the ink table. Rollers go up, they come back down, the table turns a little bit, it's self-inking. So it was built in the 1890s on an 1840s design, but this was like revolutionary at that time. It was super fast because you're feeding and pulling at the same time. It's really, you can get quite a few prints out of it. Oops. I pressed the AV mute button. Oh, we're back on. So here's me operating the press. You can see the ink up there, the roller's going up and down. It's kind of a pain, but it's pretty cool. The end result was really what I was after, and even without ink. So to me, like something like this is really exciting. It might not look like much, but this was a huge pain in the ass. Because the gold, those are separate, that's a separate plate, and those have to register with everything, and you have to hand set all that stuff yourself and make small adjustments to it. Those are all two color, even that little tag's two color. But they turned out great. You can print on anything though too, well, almost anything. Like heavy chipboard. Again, registration, pretty girls. And even, you know, try to be cool, self-promotion, that card that I would give to no one. Even like wood veneer. I printed on this recently for a friend of mine, and it had adhesive backing on the veneer. It came in a roll. It was awesome. Detailed line art. Again, all that little detail. Even like custom shapes, real fun stuff. Two-sided. Two-side is not ideal because one side presses out the other side, but it works in certain occasions. So I get 0 out of this. It costs way more for me. It's way more of an investment for me in materials and my effort than I'll ever get back out of it. But it's totally cool. Like, it's the coolest thing, and I love it, and I'm so, every time I get an opportunity to use it, I do. So my second case study, and this one's going to meander a little bit, so bear with me. So it starts with a palm tiki. Not even 25 bucks in materials. Some neighbors down the street are getting rid of a palm tree. They cut it down, it was like 40 feet tall. I asked them if I could have some of the pieces, and they looked at me like I was completely insane. And so I was lugging these huge chunks of wood into the back of my car, and they took their children inside. Those are the materials that I used, very awesome. This is the $3 True Value hammer, and then the multi-pack of chisels. And I just went at it. And I thought, well, what the hell, you know? And I even used like the natural break in the wood here as like the neckline. I don't know, and I just wanted something. My house is from the late 60s. Everything's totally of that style, of that era, and I felt like it would fit. So I had the opportunity, and I bought a few cheap materials, and I made something out of it. And I had a couple pieces left, and so I made another one. And then I bought a $25 chainsaw that lasted for only this project. But it was fun, you know? But again, like, I'm not making money off of that. It's just fun to do. So I found out that reclamation is fun. So it got me looking for other opportunities. Which brings me to block wall. Again, my neighborhood's from the late 60s. There's a lot of the Haver crown block, the nice modern stuff that everybody seems to want to throw away now. My neighbors down the street had that crown block all around their yard. They got rid of it. And again, Fred Sanford, I'm driving down the street. I see something like, oh, I could use that. They're throwing it out. So I take a couple trips with it and I got to get this stuff back to my house. So I start building this wall. I mapped it out. I said, all right, I'm going to build a patio in front, and I have to use this somehow. So I mapped it out, knowing that I would have enough blocks left to fill in that space with that shitty gate right there. And then I would have my friend, who is actually a talented metal artist, make a gate for me. So, wall completed. I learned some masonry. Got some rebar, concrete. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Tuck pointing, cleaning it up. That's pretty damn straight. I had to take it apart a few times. So it was not without its problems. So then I have some pieces left over. I have just enough so that I can line up a straight line of those blocks. And then I fill in with my gray, thinking that I'll paint it, which I never have. It's been like 2 years. And my friend builds a gate. I bought the sheet steel for it, and it looked awesome. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to rust up this gate. I'll just let it rust naturally. Well, 3 months later, it still looks like that. I'm like, I have to speed up the process. So I used some acid, and overnight, bang, it just rusts right up. A little like pool acid. So that got me thinking about rust. I had some reclaimed sheet steel from that project from the gate, the oversized sheets that were left. So I cut those down, or had them cut down. And I used about $5 of pool acid. So I thought, what can I make? I can make some signs. I could make something that would be interesting, fun. And I definitely have to put my logo up there. So I have this cut out of vinyl, again, adhesive vinyl. I lay it down on my clean sheet of steel, make sure that it's really clean and I get good adhesion. And I spray a little pool acid on there. And from learning before, when I swamped it and it totally corroded everything and looked like shit, I learned to spray it, give it a little wipe, and then just walk away from it. So it immediately starts getting like a little soft and cloudy. And I really want to peel that up, but I'm like, no, leave it alone. Just wait. So overnight, it rusts out. And you have this really high polished, like chrome almost fin, like real shiny reflective finish, and then that soft rust. And so I still haven't cut this piece up. Again, something else I need to learn how to do, cut metal. But it looks pretty cool, right? So again, zero profit off of that. But it was totally cool. Like, how fun is that? And I made it work, like I got it, clean lines and everything. That's just what I wanted it to be. So my third case study brings me to monoscreen printing. I took a class, a friend of a friend suggested it. I had been doing my own screen printing and kind of separating colors and figuring out how all that worked for a few years. And then I started screen printing a few posters, design posters, and kind of getting a sense of how that worked. And when this class was suggested to me, I thought, oh, this is interesting. I'm not sure exactly what to expect, but $250 is kind of a lot of money. But I thought it over and I thought, that's something that I really want to spend some money on and learn how to do, and it's a good opportunity for me to learn something and extend my knowledge. Oh, damn it, I did it again. So here are some of the materials. That was 2 years ago, by the way. And every opportunity that I have, I print something. It just completely and totally clicked for me. It was right in line with the art that I like to create, which is really detailed and that I spend time on and I want to make just right. But then I also take it in there and it becomes something else.
Is this the wedding?
What's that?
Is this for the wedding movie?
It is not.
It is not. Anybody else want to get married? Anybody?
Anyone want to get married? No? Okay. Where was I? So here's my stencil. I've cut my stencil. It's exactly how I wanted it. It's nice straight, not straight, nice clean edges, everything that I like. But part of the process, I have to mix the ink there. I have to feel out how things are going to go together and just let it go and just make something in the moment. So I don't want it to be exactly what I envision it when I start. I let the process dictate along the way what happens. And sorry for the cloudy photos. But it allows me to do anything that comes into my head that I think, yeah, that's cool, or I saw something like an old matchbox that I like the art on with a badge on. I'm going to do a badge with that art on it, and I'm going to make a print out of it. I do stuff for my kids' rooms. I print on like other posters, design posters that I've made. Really small quantity. You're actually painting in the screen and printing it down onto the paper. So that building up of layers just really speaks to me. Fiery tikis, angry birds. 8 stencil prints that have a separate white plate only in the middle of the run, but you can do that. Whereas if I have a screen burned, that's 3 colors, it's 3 colors and I have to print it 30 times each and make sure that it's registered. With this, I have total freedom. It's super small quantity, but I get more than one, which is really important to me, because making one painting is just putting too many eggs in one basket for me. So this provides me like a lot of lateral play, and by understanding the process and by having a background in some of these, what's involved in it is really helps me kind of push myself. Details, details, details. And I get to collaborate with other people. This one was a photo from Jason Grubb's $10 project that I illustrated. This is an illustration by Bob Case that I cut stencils for. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate stencils that I had to register and ink and color and make sure that everything was just dialed in just right. But look how rich and awesome it is. And I got a chance to collaborate with a talented person. Can you see that? You can't really, that one's, don't worry about that one. It had a cool ink flow on it. Even modern homes. So totally disparate things. Stuff that doesn't relate to each other, stuff that doesn't relate to anything else other than I see that and I think it's interesting and I can make something out of it. So really my point is to leave room for the unexpected. What's the value for you? Is it monetary, or is it, creative fulfillment? Is it like, what does it do for you? For me, it's self-fulfillment. I do this kind of work because it's the work that I want to be doing. If that ends up being my career path, great. If not, then I can use that. I can use that in my career. So I'm going to apply my skills to pay the bills, My wife made me put that in there. So here is an example of a project a self-promo project I did this year. And I'm using a lot of these skills that I just talked about. So I print a 4-color print in CMYK. And then I wanted to include a sticker on the outside of the tube. And so I thought, I'll make a little B and a plus sign, a B positive. And then I made the sticker and I thought to myself, I can't stick this on the tube, like I want them to be able to use it. So I made a little matchbook, and then I made a bunch of stickers, And then I trimmed out all my matchbooks, and I stapled them all together with instructions for the sticker on it, because vinyl stickers sometimes can be a little tricky. There's my sticker. There's my poster. And there are all the tubes ready to ship out. So again, a huge pain in the ass. Is there a return in there? Maybe. There might be. And that's the point. I mean, if you're going to be a professional, you have to take chances in this field. And I can't worry so much about hitting the nail on the head every time as opposed to trying and just getting out there, doing something. Why not? So explore and refine your interests. And most of all, have fun. Because who doesn't love a clear drip and a red transparent flood over blue and getting that kind of shit? I mean, seriously. Like, to me, that is so awesome that I can deconstruct something that I've made on the computer. Because I had to get my idea on there before I could take it off. So, and that's the way that I work, but I encourage you all to find your own interests and really, oh, damn it, right at the end, to say yes, try something new. That's it. I'm done. So, is it all right?